I want to encourage you with being new in this game to not put pressure on yourself just because you're not where you want to be. My first 2 years in the business, I only did one deal. One. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Yes to Real Estate podcast show on the CC Network. We're super excited to be here today for episode number 8. And we have Joel to here today. And we're going to come from a perspective of a newbie person who wants to invest as new development and rehab. So we're going to pick his brain and whatever questions that he might have for us, we're going to answer them. But before we get started, a big shout out to my lovely wife, Joanne Barun. She's one half of Yes to Real Estate. She's our interior, exterior designer and our stager for Yes to Real Estate. Joe, thank you so much for your time and effort into making sure that the brand is winning. And we thank you for all your hard work. Big shout out to my kids, Chase, Skylar Barad. Thank you guys for believing in Dad and the vision. And thank you for promoting Yes to Real Estate. Chase is 5 years old. Skylar is 2. And they're doing an amazing job. So thank you. Also want to thank the marketing team, Boss and Jenny. They are doing an amazing job with Yes to Real Estate and taking it to the next level. Pretty much they take the footage of what we have, they take the videos and add certain things to it and post it and to bring in the viewers for Yes to Real Estate. So thank you guys. And also Michael, our analytics, our marketing guy as well. He look at the numbers and pretty much tell us what we need to do more of. More videos on new construction, more videos on flips, more videos including my family. So Michael, thank you so much for looking at the numbers and breaking down the analytics. Also Ms. Diamond, our transaction coordinator, and our GC. That's right. The lady, she's doing very well. She oversees the new construction from the soft cost stage all the way to the hard cost stage. So Diamond, thank you for what you're doing for the new construction as being the GC. And Ashley, she's one half of Rush Green Properties. And also she's my partner. Yes, she's my partner in real estate as well. We do flips and new construction together. So Ashley, thank you so much for your commitment to the brand. And thank you for being my partner as well. So today we're talking about how to win as a newbie in real estate from new construction and the rehab. So today we have our guest, Joel. Joel, how are you?
So far, so good, Mr. Andre. Thank you for having me over.
Yes. I love the projectile of your voice.
Appreciate that very much. Thank
you. Yeah, you sound real good on the mic. So thank you for being here today, Joel. So for the millions of people who's watching and listening, can you let them know a little bit about yourself, who you are?
Hi, so I am Joelson Kideki. I am currently about a year in real estate, and I am an entrepreneur. I do marketing, do car rentals, and at the end of the day, I'm just trying to put myself at a higher level in all boards, whether it's health-wise or mentally or financially.
Wow, Joel. So you said a year in real estate, right?
Yes.
As an agent, are you a real estate agent?
I am a real estate agent.
Okay. A top producing agent.
Of course.
Amen. All right. Also, you want to learn more about new construction and rehab. Is that correct?
Most definitely.
So can you tell the millions of people watching, how has it been with being a newbie agent, but a newbie investor? What are some of your challenges?
As a newbie agent at my age specifically,
how old are you?
I am 21 years old.
Oh, my Lord.
So at my age specifically, getting into real estate, I realized once I was going into the real estate offices, everybody wanted to help me. But that was also the problem, that everybody wanted to help me. And me being who I am, I wanted to make sure everybody was proud or was like, hey, this guy's doing what he's supposed to do. And then I ended up getting into the rat race of trying to please everybody, trying to do open houses, trying to do cold calls. And then on top of that, I was not quite the wisest. So instead of keeping my job, I was like, no, we're going all into real estate. And yeah.
Oh, let's unpack that for a little bit. The first question I want to ask you is that you made a statement that you wanted to please people, right? And everybody wanted to help you. And the challenge with that is that everybody wanted to help you. Why was there a challenge that everybody wanted to help you?
It was a challenge because of my age, all the top producers saw me as like one of their kids. So because of that, they didn't just take me under their wing. It was kind of like we're getting our stuff together and we're running full speed ahead. And it's just my first few weeks into real estate, and I have so many people meeting me wanting to go ahead and just get the show on the road.
Okay. And then you said that you got into real estate, and you said you left your full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that was? Do you think you made the right decision with doing that, or what's your thoughts on that?
Looking back at it now, it thrusted me into the entrepreneurial world, but it didn't thrust me into the real estate world. So.
Break that down a little bit. What do you mean about that?
So it put me in a situation where I was full-time at the real estate office, and now it's like, hey, I need to make money. What are my options? I don't only need to do real estate. I can go maybe do some car rentals. I can go help other people with their open houses, or maybe be behind the computer running their CRM.
Okay. So you made the decision to leave your job. So the reason why I asked that question, because I was the opposite, right? So when I got started in real estate, I kept my job, right? Because I wanted to make sure that I continued to work and learn the business of real estate and not be pressured to having to make a sale in order to support my family. So I didn't leave until August, but you decided to jump right in, right? And you said looking back, you would have done the same thing?
I think looking back on it, I would probably still have done the same thing because it led to this specific situation. Getting to sit here with Mr. Andre.
Yes.
But after hearing what you've said on previous podcasts, I probably would have stayed on my job if I could go back.
And see, this is going to help millions of entrepreneurs who's watching now, because it's different ways of doing things, right? And one way doesn't fit all. So I love having people to hear both sides. You jump, I didn't jump, right? But do that make what you did wrong and what I did wrong? No, right? It's based on your situation, based on where you're at, that you kind of determine if you're going to make that move. I didn't do it because I have kids, right? I have a family, right? A wife. So that was one of my reasons to make sure that once I left, that everything was lined up, ready to go. So if I do have a bad month or several months, everything can continue. That was my reason, right? So do you have wife and kids or anything?
I do not have wife or kids.
Okay. Yeah. So did you think that played a role for you to go ahead and make that move to jump?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially when I was around 18 at the time. So I was pretty much like, hey, I have my real estate license. I've been interning for a year, and everyone is telling me I need to get into action. So I made the jump. But now that we're talking about it and looking back on it, I think that if I did stay, the opportunity would be limitless. So I could still stay with the job. I can still do real estate. I can do as many venues I can do as I can put on.
Yeah. And it's crucial that we're having this conversation, and we have Joel here as a newbie agent, investor, and rehabber. It's because these questions comes up a lot in conversations that I have with people who's coming to the business, and there's no right answer, right? You have to tailor the answer that fits best for your situation, right? And that's the advice that I would give on that. So what else? This is an open mic. What other question that you might have as a newbie?
What did you do before going ahead and doing the jump financially? What was your money management system?
Oh, that's good. So, okay. So I had a 401k, right, at my job.
So if you don't mind me interrupting, I'm kind of still new to the 401k, but from my understanding is that that's later money.
Yes. Yeah, that's later money, which is, something that you can put and don't touch and it's still there, right? So I had that. I had reserves, right? So I had money saved up from me working and me doing real estate. That gave me the opportunity to jump. Also, we have rentals. So we have rental properties that makes money every month. So we also have that, right? And then with me being a top producing agent, I knew that I was going to produce a certain amount of helping people buy and sell homes. And then while I was still working, I was doing flips as well. So I was doing all of these things that was bringing in money, that once I do leave my job, I have all these avenues that money was coming in. So if one avenue stopped, I still have these, right? So if I don't never sell another house, I still have rentals and I'm still building. So I made sure before I left that we have reserves, we have money coming in from different avenues, right? And then I knew that if I was to leave my job, then I can devote more time to my craft and blow it up more. And that's what happened.
If you were to come into the game as strictly just an agent, not having the ability to have rentals and construction, what would you do? Or what did you do?
So if I was to come into the game as an agent
and nothing else, no investment properties, no construction,
what would I do? Man, so I would get with a team and learn. So I would learn how to prospect. I would learn how to market. I would learn how to deal with people, and I would learn how to become an expert in the business of real estate. So if someone asks me a question about a particular topic, I'll be able to talk to them about it. But then I would want to work for a team, right? A top producing agent who's doing well, so I can see what are they doing in order to make millions of dollars a year. So if I'm coming straight in, I want to get on a team, and not just any team, but a team of a person who's winning in real estate.
I think it's interesting that you say that, because back when I was at my previous broker, my coach actually suggested that I don't join a team.
Really?
And he was explaining that with my age and having the people that are willing to help me, that I'm better off just kind of going with the course and the instructions that were given and just going out there and just making it happen.
Yeah, I understand that part, but here's the challenge with that. Remember in episode number 7, I talked about mentorship. And the thing about mentorship is you're paying for it. And anytime that you pay for something and that someone is making money off of you, you tend to get a lot more from them. So if you went on a team and they know that if they train you right, they're going to get a certain percentage of whatever you do, you're going to get all the secrets, right? You're going to get the know-hows and everything that most people won't share if they're not gaining anything from you. So if you go to a team, he or she is doing well, and they get a certain percentage on anything that you help a person buy or sell, and they get a percentage of that, they're going to share with you the secrets. That's where the money is. The money is in the small details that people don't want to share because they feel like it's close to their heart.
I see.
Right?
So for someone like me that's only 21, although it's only might be $200, which to most people that's a quick penny, to me that's a car bill right there.
Yeah.
Well, how would you suggest someone my age going about trying to get mentorship?
So how I got my mentorship for new construction is I went and offered sweat equity, right? Cut the grass, right? Do drive-bys of the property, make sure the gate is locked, make sure everything is good, make sure there's no issues, right? If the trash can is flipped over, you pick it up, clean it. All of that is free, right? It just costs you your time. So if you don't have the money, you have the time, then do some sweat equity and figure out what that person you need help in and do it. For example, for me, if someone said, hey, Dre, I want to learn from you, what can I do? I always tell people, figure out and learn as much about the person who you want to mentor you, and figure out where is that gap at, like where they're not doing well because they don't have time to do it, and you go do it. And then you come back and tell them, hey, I went by, I power washed the outside of your rental home. I know it was empty and I cut the grass. Now everything is back nice. If you do that, I'm going to make time for you because I'm like, man, this is not normal, number one. But number two, you invested time to make something that I own look good. So because of that, sweat equity is a major play if a person doesn't have the finances to pay for it.
I see. What I noticed with myself personally, when it comes to sweat equity, I let my schedule get a little too crazy for instead of letting the more important things take over my schedule. So how did you end up tackling that?
That's a great question. I delegate everything. So I got a great marketing team. So you're not going to see me really post anything. The marketing team does that, right? As far as writing contracts, I'm not going to do it, right? My whole job is to make sure that I get in front of people, let them know about Yes to Real Estate, let them know how I can help them fulfill their goals and dreams and get more business. Once I get the business, I delegate everything else to everybody on the team. So you have to put what's important first, right? So you figure out what are the items that you need to do to bring in the money.
I see.
And delegate everything else.
How long did it take you or how did you get to the point where you could use that type of leverage?
I had to become real with myself. I think 3 years ago, I did $4.7 million in transaction. And I was a person showing the homes. I was listing the homes, writing up the contracts, going to appointments. It was just me. I did $4.7 million and I was tired. Like I gave my all. But as soon as I realized with my mentor and my mentor telling me that you got to start delegating, then that's when the business really took off, because now I just focus on one main thing and I make sure that the team focus on everything else. So I had to be real with myself, is that I can't do it all and expect to go to the next level.
Hi, I'm Stephen Thompson. And when I'm not DJing and giving people the vibes, I'm cultivating a community at Community Cultivation Network. We'd love to see you. We'd love to have you. We'd love for you to view our podcast. Not only are we the best, we're the best. And if you don't believe us, that's too bad. We love you. From here and everywhere else.
Now let's get back to cultivating community. Yes.
So for me personally, the fact that you're already doing that all by yourself, it sounded like you passed through 4 or 5 levels already. Yeah. How did you do the initial move up from just being an everyday employee to no, this is my business and I'm taking it to the top?
Yeah. So you have to understand that I was working full-time and doing real estate full-time. I was doing both. And most people didn't know that. I was doing real estate and working full-time, and nobody had a clue. I would just focus on making sure that the brand is more important than my job. And that's all I focused on, was promoting the Yes to Real Estate, and then I would go to work at the same time.
How was your mental health at the time? Because I could not handle that.
Sure. No, it was tough because I was working 12 hours. I would get off of work, go show homes, and then go home and spend time with Chase and my wife, right? And then when I worked night shift, I would go and show homes and do real estate before I go to work and work 12 hours. I did that for like 2 years, like constantly going 100%. And here's the thing that I want every newbie to know, is that if you don't delegate, then something's going to fall between the cracks. I knew that I couldn't continue to give my job and work 100%. Something was going to have to give, right? And so, and I ended up letting the job go because I knew that I couldn't continue the same effort. Mental, my wife, kids, and just me being present, right? So that's when I let go of the job.
Snap. I've never done not even a 10th amount of work you did, but when I was in real estate doing the cold calls and still had my job, I was getting stressed out. Yeah. What'd you do during those 2 years so that way you could just stay in a straight line?
Man, I would just focus, understanding, hey, I'm gonna give 2 years to this. I'm gonna give 2 years to this. So no matter how I felt, I was gonna commit it to giving 2 years to doing both, until I can let go of my job and focus on real estate, right? And thing with cold calling building your brand, it takes time, right? My first 2 years in the business, I only did one deal. One. So imagine investing 2 years in your business and only did one deal. A lot of people counted me out in those first 2 years because they equated my success with my effort. I'm going to say that again. My first 2 years in the business, they equated my success with my efforts. Right? They said, Andre, you did one deal in 2 years. You're not successful and you're not putting in the effort that it takes in order to win. And you got to be very careful and understand that some people get it real quick, and sometimes it takes for other people to some time to get it. And it took me some time to understand everything, and finally took off in year 3 and 4 and 5. So I want to encourage you, with being new in this game, to not put pressure on yourself. To not put pressure on yourself just because you're not where you want to be. Understand that it takes time, and as long as you are continually working on your craft and your skill and continually getting better, then use that as a measurement of your success. You know, I was hard on myself because when I did that one deal in 2 years, I was measuring my success based on how many deals I did. And I only did one. And I was telling myself I was going through some mental challenges that I wasn't doing well because I only did one deal. But I was planting the seed. I was building the ground. I was building the foundation for this moment now. And so when people finally caught up to my message, it took off. Year 3, 4.7. I did $24.7 million last year. And we were on pace to do $40 million this year. And no one could have imagined that, right? So I want to encourage you as a newbie in this business to be consistent and persistent with what you're doing. Every day, do something. Every day. Do not let a day go by to where you're not doing something in your business to improve it, right? It might seem small, but it's that consistency that you're building, the habits, your muscle memory, right, of you doing over and over again to where it's normal to do something in real estate.
I know that while you're going through the motion, the pressure is real.
Yeah.
Like, even though you're building the muscles, you're moving forward, it's not a joke. Do you think that you did something specific, maybe more time with your family, or you maybe some affirmations on the side?
Man, the thing that I did was I constantly kept people saying yes to real estate. Right? That was my one message. I wanted you to say yes. Right? I wanted you to say yes to real estate. So I'm talking about real estate. I'm wearing shirts about real estate. My wife is saying yes about real estate. So my whole thing was I have to get people to say yes to real estate. So now when people are thinking about selling and buying a home, they're going to think of me first. So my whole thing was I have to be consistent with my message. So even when I get in an argument with my wife, right, I'm having challenges at home, I stay consistent with my message. And so you have to do that as well.
I see. So in a way, it's kind of like, instead of it taking that part of your world that you're trying to include, you made it seem as if it's already there. So we're just going to deal with it and say yes to real estate.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So what question do you have when to come to, do you see yourself as a top producing agent one day?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Awesome.
Because I know from all the people I've been talking to, it sounds like hard work works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the one thing about being a top producing agent is that you have to get everybody on the same message. So what do I mean about that? When you sell or help one person buy a home, you got to make sure that one person is your walking marketing piece. You want them to be happy and satisfied with the service, and they go and tell 10 other people. And now everybody is talking about how great yes to real estate is, and you haven't even touched them. your walking marketing people are touching those people. So keep in mind that everything that you do today is going to affect your next 10, 20, 30, 40 sales.
How long did it take you to realize the return on investment off of one sale?
Man, I really started understanding maybe 3 years ago, understanding that from the podcast, from Clubhouse, from the signs, anything that I do marketing is not an instant gratification result. It might take a year or 2 years, right? But if you put that upfront investment in and understand you're going to get it on the back end later on, and you start compounding your results, then you know that you're going to win.
That's hard for most people. What do you do that's different that makes you unlike most people then?
The main thing is understanding that you need a team, right? You got to make sure your team is winning. It's not just me, but my whole team is winning. You need marketing, making sure that your marketing team is winning, right? You make sure that you pay your marketing people, right? And you come with fresh ideas, not only yourself, but your whole team. You create an environment to where they are okay with bringing in fresh ideas and saying, Andre, I think you should do this. I am open to any and every ideas from the team because I know that you have to constantly reinvent yourself and stay in front of people.
Most definitely.
Right? So with the Yes to Real Estate, we made a song on Yes to Real Estate. We started a Yes to Real Estate field trip, the first one in this building. Right? We had over 250 people. We have Yes to Real Estate signs. We have Yes to Real Estate earrings, hats, shirts. So you constantly reinvent yourself. Or how can I constantly get my brand in front of people? And as long as you stay challenging yourself and you're not comfortable, you're definitely going to win.
I see. I know for me personally, when I think of team, I try to recruit my friends.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to realize that my friends don't care about being successful when it comes straight down to it.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing the work that's necessary.
Yeah.
So when it comes to surrounding myself to the right people to go to the correct direction,
yeah,
what would you say to do?
I would say surround yourself with people that you look up to. Surround yourself with people who are shaking and moving. Shout out to Sonia. She loves saying that. And I would say, surround yourself with people who's doing it. Like you're here today because you made a choice to be a part of CC Network, right?
Right.
To internship, to learn and grow. And we happen to meet here. And now you are on the podcast, right? So you see how making a right move to get around right people can transition to you being on the podcast. So I would say that make it your important to you to make the right moves. Get around people who's doing well, making sure that you offering value to those people. Like when you being a part of an internship, you're not getting paid. So you are offering value and information to learn and grow and say, hey, company, how can I make sure you win? And in return, they're like, you know what? We're going to make sure you win too. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And now both parties are winning.
It's going to come from value.
Yeah, you have to. You have to if you're going to win.
Man, I've been realizing at my age that value comes with time. So it's like...
And you have a lot of time.
I do actually have quite a bit of time, yeah.
Yeah. So, Joel, as we come to the end, I want you to look into the camera and I want you to share something with the millions of people who's watching and that can help them. Because right now, Joel, you have somebody who's 21, 18, 19 in your position who want to learn, who want to grow, but don't know where to start. What would you tell them?
Well, for me personally, something that I understood, well, it took me a very long time to understand, but the best way to start really is starting. And it's hard to start. Jeez, is it hard. But once you get going, the ball just keeps going.
Is that what happened with here? Can you tell the millions of people, how did you get on this podcast? Because I think it's going to be crucial if you can kind of share with them the history of how you made it to this lovely silver seat that you're in right now.
I'll try to say it best as possible because it is a bit long. So about 3 to 4 years ago, I was in high school and I was like, hey, I need to make money. And then I overheard someone behind me saying they're selling cars. And that was all I needed. I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. Immediately, a month later, got with one of my boys and we're like, hey, how are we going to sell cars? He had a connection to a car dealership. And next thing I know, we're in the business of marketing, running Facebook ads, and the cars as well. And after that, it slowly progressed into real estate. And then the cars died out completely failed. I thought it was done and over with. And the connections were made with the car dealership, the auction were over. And I'm off to my next venture into real estate. And I was there for about a year, interning as a senior. And then the year after, I was a real estate agent myself. And then after that, that's when things really started to get really crazy in the real estate world. And I kind of went my own way and really got serious about the entrepreneur side because I needed money. And then immediately after that, I get a call from an old business partner, someone that helped in the office, just a completely random stranger. And he's like, hey, there's a job opportunity. I need you to do open houses. And that's finally when things broke out. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting back into real estate. I'm getting paid. Things are stable. And then out of nowhere, I find out there's a huge opportunity with the cars going on. So things are starting to pick up. And then out of nowhere, I hear there's a job opportunity with marketing with my current boss. And I end up meeting Mr. Andrews, marketing consultant / manager when it comes to marketing, Michael. Shout out to Michael.
Yes.
And he says, hey, there's an opportunity here. I like the way you work, so come by. And none of that would have happened if I didn't hear someone in the back behind me just say, hey, I'm selling cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you met Michael. Michael introduced you to CC Network. You internship at CC Network. I met you here, and you say you was a big fan, right?
Most definitely.
And then shout out to Gerald, gave us the idea of doing an episode on dealing with newbies in real estate. And I'm like, you know what? I think you'll be great for this episode.
Thank you very much.
Right? And so now you're here. So we said that whole story. Thank you for sharing that.
Most definitely.
It's for the millions of people watching now. You're never too early to get started, and it's never too late to get started, right? Joy is a prime example of what it takes in order to win in this business. You have to be in the right place at the right time. But the only reason why he was in the right place at the right time is because he's seen an opportunity, and he knows how opportunity sounds. He can hear the voice of opportunity. So many of us will say, well, if I'm not going to make any money with this, I'm not going to do it, right? And we have to understand that opportunity doesn't always come knocking, and it sounds like an opportunity. Right now, it could sound like work. It can sound like you put a lot of effort to something that's not going to pan out, but that's opportunity. So I want to challenge you to make sure that you have your ears, your eyes open, so when you hear opportunity that you jump on it, because you never know what it's going to lead to. So Joel, thank you so much for today's episode. You were truly amazing. I'm super excited for you and for where you're heading.
Thank you, Miss Andre.
Absolutely. So I want to challenge you to say yes to being a newbie. And it's okay with being brand new, but it's not okay if you don't ask for help. It's not okay if you don't invest into mentorship and getting the knowledge and the wisdom that you need to go to the next level. Thank you for saying yes to greatness. Thank you for saying yes to opportunity. Thank you for saying yes to asking for help. Thank you for saying yes to put and paying for help. And thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you at the top. Hello, everyone. This is Andre Barra with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like, and check out our other episodes right here on the Community Cultivator Network and the Yes to Real Estate podcast. See you at the top.